Good morning, Decatur Township. It is October 25th, Wednesday, and it's time for another Coach's Corner. I'm here with Coach Enright, and I'm Jason Schanzel. Coach, how are you today?
Doing great.
Cool.
Great. Nice little break. Two-week break. So,
I was going to say, you should be feeling great. You're on a really good win streak. You just had 2 weeks off, and you got a big win in the middle of that 2 weeks off. So it's been a while since we've done this, obviously, because of the break and everything. So let's talk about 2 games ago, we took on Perry Meridian and won an amazing game. If you haven't been there, it was wonderful.
If you love defense, it was an amazing
game. For sure.
As the offensive coordinator, it was rough. But, so senior night, so it's always a special night to get, all those parents out there and the kids and all their work that they put in for 12 years kind of culminating on senior night. So that was great. It was a windy night. It wasn't rainy, but there was a lot of wind, so that really affects things more than you'd think in the passing game and the kicking game. So, luckily for us, we have an amazing defense, and they kept us in the game because that one was tough, man. We had 5 turnovers. We fumbled the ball 5 times. It was a little bit chilly compared to the previous 7 games of the season, and our skill guys looked like they were cold. So we had a little heart-to-heart on Saturday morning and talked about what cold is. Because cold isn't 50 degrees. Cold is 0 degrees in Indiana, or 32 or below, not 60. So we kind of had a come-to-Jesus meeting and just talking about some of the different things that we just didn't look like we were ready to play offensively from a skill position. And that was apparent by putting the ball on the turf 5 times. But our defense stepped up huge, man. They were amazing all night. Another close game came down to the wire, and we made one big play on offense where we had a bad snap, and Bo somehow picked it up and kind of pushed past it out to Albert for a toss, fullback toss, and he broke a couple tackles, and he's got the speed and the power and took it in for our first score to tie it up 7-7, and then the next possession, Chris. Can't catch Chris made a huge play on defense. So just guys stepping up. MJ Campbell had an amazing game, had 2 sacks, and was just all over the field playing physical. So we had 3rd down and 1 stops 3 or 4 times, and then 3 huge 4th down stops. So just super proud of our defense and our fight. We knew that Perry was a very physical football team. I mean, just watching them on film, they were the most physical team that we had seen, even though their record didn't kind of show it. They had lost 5 games at the time, all by less than 7 points. So they were in every game. We knew it was going to be a battle. But luckily we came out and got the last punch. Chris's pick 6 kind of capped it off, and we snuck out of there with a 14-7 win. But it was great on senior night to get a win. It could have gone the other way, but our kids kept battling like they've done all year. I was really proud of them at the end of the night.
Well, and just the feeling of winning a game like that, I mean, from my vantage point, we're down pretty much the whole game. And then all of a sudden you look up and you're up a score. And you're just like, oh, my gosh. And there's only, 3 minutes left in the game, or less than that even?
And we talked about, it's just amazing to win that. But we talk about the turnovers, the plus minus. We were -4. And the chart says you win, when you're -4 in turnovers, you win like 3% of the time.
Hey, I'll take a 3%.
So we were one of the 3%, luckily, because Coach Gooden and our defense just continued to get stops and play tough and physical.
And you can even say on the pick 6, our defensive front got pressure on their quarterback, something fierce on that play. He just kind of threw
it up to the sideline.
Coverage, was through where he thought his receiver would be, and unfortunately he was not there. But thank goodness Chris Richmond was, and pick and walks in more or less untouched.
So that was a big win. Kind of set us up for, which I'm sure we're getting ready to talk about.
Exactly.
The following week,
conference championship game.
So that win against Perry set up a showdown. So there are 4 teams tied for the conference lead going into the last week: Plainfield, Martinsville, and us and Franklin. And we all played each other. So it was basically the winners are going to share the conference title, and the losers are out. So So that was great. It's not very often that you have kind of a championship feel in Week 9. So it's good because it's your first week out of school. It's a weird week practice-wise. We practice in the morning sometimes, just getting kids here when they're on break.
Yeah.
Families, scheduling vacations and different getaways. And so it's a strange week. So having something to play for, a championship or a trophy, was huge because it got our kids motivated and man, did they play well. So saved our best game of the season for last. All three phases I thought played extremely well. Got a goose egg for the first time in 4 years. So Coach Gooden got a game ball, and then Vogel did his magic again. And
was that the fourth time this year he's broke his own school record?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, what, 49-yarder?
He broke his 49-yard record with a 51.
That's what it was.
And level difficulty 11.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
Wind, rain.
Torrential rain.
We had to do a quick field goal, and it was on the hash. So they had to run out on the field. We had no timeouts. Get set up quick on the right hash, 51 yards in the rain. Great snap by Serb. Fired it back there. Great hold by Bonnie, and then Vogel.
Yeah, I mean, you would never know there was any wind or any rain. The snap was just so on point. The hold was so on point. The kick, you just watched it go. And even Ashton said itself, he's like, as soon as I kicked it, I knew it was good.
Yeah, and kickers have that weird knack to know that. Yeah. You just hit it right. It's almost like a 3-point shot. You know if it's going in, or if you're short, you chase it. But he said he felt it off his foot like it was going in, and man. But that just sparked the crowd and the sideline. Like, so many people are rooting for him because he's a great kid and he works hard, and people know that. So to see that go through was awesome. But then offensively, we played opposite of the week before. Yeah. So we had 5 turnovers the week before and 0 this time. Yep. Took care of the ball in the rain, which is huge.
That's what I was going to say. Your talk worked. Obviously, because I haven't seen a Decatur Central game where we're firing on all cylinders like we were that night. I mean, just everything worked. Everything we tried, running, passing, kicking, defense was just lights out.
Yeah, no doubt. And, I think that one of the biggest things that we talk about, and Coach Gooden kind of preaches this a lot, is one of his keys to success every week is be the most excited team to play. Yeah. And it seems kind of like, what does that mean? Like, you should be excited to play. But a long season, it's week 9, it's fall break, it's pouring down rain. You still have to find a way to bring energy every single night, even when the crowd maybe not as big. There's not your friends aren't in the stands. Yeah. It's pouring down rain. You're on the sideline. Which we were definitely the more excited team to play, and I think that's huge. So for our kids' mindset, just going in, just having that energy and bringing the juice, and then just hit on all cylinders. And our skill guys did kind of take that talk to heart, I think. And it was my fault the week before. I just assumed. Sometimes as coaches we assume too much, and you know what that does. But that they knew not to wear sleeves. Skill guys are not allowed to wear sleeves down here. And then in the game before, they all had sleeves on, like it was cold or something. Yeah. It doesn't matter. If it's 0 degrees, skill guys are not to have sleeves on from elbow to wrist. You can wear them up here, cold gear, whatever you need to wear. Right. But it's just too slick. I mean, it makes the ball come out of your hands. And so
just bad idea.
Yeah, a bad idea. And so we got that corrected and fixed, and our kids played faster and more physical. And
I felt like our runners played really, really well. Our running backs, Casey had a great game. Napo had a great game as well.
Yeah, I mean, having that two-headed monster again. We talked about it earlier in the year, and then as we've moved forward here, we've kind of gone more Navy and flex bone to allow Albert, Dodo, and Casey to get the ball more because it's very difficult.
Pardon me, I forgot Albert. Albert, sprinkle him in there, and he's been dynamite.
Yeah, when you're in gun and we're in our Clemson package, as we call it, it's just harder to get different guys the ball, especially on a cold, rainy, windy night. Right. Like it's you're handing it off to Dodo, and then we can't get it to Albert, we can't get it to Casey, we can't throw it as much. So being under center and flex bone and our Navy package has been good, just distributing the ball a little bit more to different guys. But Casey ran amazing. I mean, he's just a tough physical runner. You wouldn't think because he's 170 pounds, but he runs through.
He's just an athlete, man.
He is. He's an athlete.
He does things that others don't.
But he doesn't run around you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can.
No, you're right.
And he does, but he runs through you.
I agree.
That first initial tackle, I think people get surprised by his explosiveness. He kind of gets to the point of attack and throws his body into you.
I feel like he's one of those guys that plays with a chip on his shoulder and always has, as long as I've known him and been around him for the 4 years he's been here. You know, basketball, no matter what he's doing, basketball or football, he always plays with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah,
and
he's
has
tough.
that little spark in his eye. You know?
He does.
So
I agree with that.
Yeah, so I enjoy watching him play.
So he had two touchdown runs, 120 yards. He was Offensive Skill Player of the Week, and just had 2 big runs. And he'll tell you, he did an interview, and I was really proud of him because he recognized the blockers.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people talk about, when you're talking about blockers, everybody just talks about the 5 offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
But really good offenses, the skill guys around you are
100%.
making big blocks down the field.
Yep.
And he called that out. Albert and Dodo both had huge blocks. Getting Carson Eisenbach on the outside. He's just a tough physical kid that does everything right and block his butt off. So, when you have that going for you, when your skill guys are not crying, demanding for the ball, but rather they're blocking for their
Whoever
buddies.
has it.
That's a good thing.
Yep,
So
couldn't agree
big
more.
shout out to Nate Callahan as well. At revolving door at center this whole year, just trying to get right. I think we got the right 5 guys on the field right now with some really, really good backups. But having to snap the ball both under center and shotgun in the rain, in the wet, constantly with refs drying the ball off, it's a tough thing to do. And we had no snaps. Maybe a couple here and there that were a little bit high, but none hit the ground. And so just shout out to Nate and the rest of the O-line for opening up the holes for those guys to run.
So, all right. Well, I tell you, we've kind of talked about offensive guys. Do you have any defensive guys I'd like to shout out from Franklin community?
Yeah, defensively, when you get a goose egg, there's a lot of good performances, but some of the guys that stood out in that game, Steve-O, had a great performance again. He had 12 tackles on the game and a tackle for loss.
Yeah.
They had a pretty good quarterback and receivers, but they're in the rain it's hard to throw.
Yeah.
And our outside guys, Chris and Kaz, just locked those guys down. Yeah. So they had great games. Shanks, who you're going to talk to here in a second.
God, I feel like we have so many guys on defense that every single week you talk, and Jalen's one of those guys. Every single week that guy wreaks havoc. Creates chaos.
And one thing that we've kind of talked about as a staff is he's kind of the perfect guy to be opposite of MJ because MJ gets a lot of attention.
Sure.
And he gets double teamed, and they set the protection to MJ. They send their back sometimes to MJ, and it's going to leave Shanks with a one-on-one a lot of times. But he takes advantage of it, and you still got to win your battle over there, and it's not easy. But MJ requiring a lot of attention has freed up Shanks, and he had 8 tackles and 2 tackles for loss, and he continues to do what he's supposed to do and play well opposite of MJ. So really proud of him. And then Albert again. Mm-hmm. Albert and Michael are kind of both playing and JV, and we've really got about 3 guys that play both ways. So Albert continues to play with a kind of a tweaked ankle. I mean he's feeling pretty good, but he's definitely got to get his ankle wrapped up and. Just to play 100 snaps a game in that physical spot of fullback and linebacker.
And stand out at both.
Yeah, and not just kind of be out there.
Yeah.
Like he is the unquestioned leader on both sides, the alpha, captain, tough, great kid, refs love him, he's our speaking captain, and what I mean, just a great kid to have. That you always want in your foxhole when you're going into the playoffs. Yeah. So
well, we talk about leadership a lot, and you mentioned our senior leaders. I mean, you could say Albert's the leader of leaders. I mean, he just is the guy. Yeah,
there's some guys that when they walk in and they speak, everyone listens.
For sure.
And it's not because he demands that they listen. It's just he demands that respect by what he's done. His work ethic and what he does in the classroom, and he's just a great kid. So
couldn't agree more.
A lot of great performances. Michael had a pick. I forgot Dodo had 2 huge touchdown catches. From our Navy spot when people creep up and try to stop the run because we run it well, then we got guys that can run past you. So really proud of Bo for in the rain. Completing those 2 balls.
Yeah, I thought he looked really good. Like about as good as I've seen him this year. Him and Coach Lyday and Coach Ray, but mainly Coach Lyday, really, really work
all practice long on our play action fakes, and you can just really tell. I mean, he takes every detail of those things. Coach Lyday coaches, and he coaches them hard, and they work for 20 minutes straight. He's in a full sweat afterwards, but you can tell it's paying off because of his attention to detail. So
well, and I feel like too maybe his confidence has increased. Like he would get down on himself a little bit earlier in the year, and then now here later he's having a little more success. That confidence is a heck of a thing.
It is, and not a lot of people realize we've got a lot of young guys. He's 15.
Yeah, for sure.
15-year-old kid, sophomore.
Running the show.
Yeah, that's got a lot of pressure on him and a lot of 100%. Offers and a lot of different things. So he's growing, and that's what you want. We talk about that all the time. Like, you're not going to be a finished product for a long time. As long as we're growing together, then we got a chance. So.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. So we're going to take a short break, and we're going to introduce you to 3 of our senior defensive linemen here in just a sec. And then Coach and I will come back, and we'll talk about this coming week, Friday night against McCutcheon. All right, folks, we are here with a few of our senior defensive linemen. I'm here with Aaron Davis, Connor Bentley, and Jalyn Shanks. How are we doing this morning, guys?
Good. We're doing pretty good.
Good. So, very excited for these guys. They've had an awesome year thus far. Very proud of their work, what they've done. So, we're stoked to have them this morning. So, we're going to ask them a few questions and get to know these guys just a little bit. So, we'll start with you, Aaron. What is the most exciting thing that you just got to do on your 2 weeks off for fall break?
I slept a lot. Like, sleeping all day was
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
What about you, Connor?
A shutout win to win conference or tie.
That's pretty good. Pretty good break.
I had a job internship with my mom. So.
Okay, all right. So everybody's a little bit of different things with each of these guys. So, Jalyn, what's your nickname?
I got a lot. On the field, they call me Shankopotamus, all that stuff. But at home is Jay, Shanks, all that stuff.
All right, how about you, Connor?
I got a couple. So in the weight room, Coach Lane calls me Big Ben, and then Coach Enright, Coach Gooden calls me Beamer Benz. I don't even know where that came from.
the minds of your coaches, man. How about you, Aaron?
I get called AD on the field. That's pretty much it.
Pretty obvious. Makes good sense. All right. So, Aaron, what's your favorite restaurant or fast food place that you like to eat? What's your fave?
Oh, that's Cookout.
All right.
It's only in the South. I had it when I was in South Carolina for a bit. It's great.
All right, Cookout. All right, so if you guys are ever in South Carolina, hit up the Cookout for old Aaron here. How about you, Connor?
I like Chipotle.
Chipotle, all right.
Mine's Fazoli's. I love Italian food.
All right. So good stuff. All those places sound great. Jalyn, who or what motivates you to work hard?
My family. Like, just seeing them every day, get up, doing what they do, work and stuff.
Cool. How about you, Connor?
It's really like, so last year after we lost, I was telling myself that I was going to get on the field and change,
All right. So just prior experiences motivated you to be better this year. All right. How about you, Eric?
Kendoa, because I used to talk crap to him my sophomore year. They said I was going to go to a better school than him. So
all right. For those of you who don't know, Kendoa, Zoe used to play offensive line here. Now he's playing college ball, I believe, right? Somewhere. So Kendoa is a massive, massive human being. So I get it. All right. Let's start back with you, Aaron. Do you have a job? And if so, do you like it or no?
I have a job. I work at Meyer,
right.
and I hate it so much.
How about you, Connor?
I don't got a job.
No job for Connor. What you, Jalyn?
I currently just got on at this job at Winter, so I don't know yet.
All right. So we got one guy that's not so thrilled. One guy doesn't have a job, and the other guy's like, I don't know yet. So, all right. Well, let's stick with the job theme. What's your dream job? If you could do anything in the world and you knew you would get that job, what would you do?
Be in the NFL.
All right. How about you, Connor? NFL?
To own a business.
Own a business. I like that. All right. Aaron, what stresses you out the most?
My parents.
All right. That's good.
gosh.
I can agree with that. Relate.
Probably like when you first get on the field, that like super session.
All right. That first, just the anticipation of it. What about you, Jalyn?
If you talk to me, probably dry lips. Like, we got dry lips.
I don't have dry lips going. All right. Jalyn, what season of the year is your favorite? Do you like spring, fall, winter, summer? Which one of those is the best?
For me, it had to be winter because, my birthday in winter. So.
All right, cool. I like that.
I like summer because I'd rather be a little bit hot and like super cold.
All right, Aaron, what's your favorite?
I say
season?
winter.
Winter?
It's got all the pump covers and all
All
that.
right.
So.
Well, let's see. If you could be any animal, Aaron, what animal would you be and why?
I'll be a lion, like Micah Parsons.
All right. So,
I'd just be a regular dog.
regular old dog. I like it.
I'd probably be like a peacock.
Peacock,
Yeah.
spread your feathers, spread your wings, and fly. All right. Since it's October, do you believe in ghosts, and why or why not?
Yeah, I do. Why? Probably because my door be opening mysteriously.
See, he's experiencing some ghost things. How about you, Connor? You believe in ghosts?
Yeah, I do. I don't know. I just always like felt that they were real.
All right. You just feel the presence. How about you, Aaron?
I'm saying no.
No, he's the only non-believer. All right. All right, Aaron. So this is the last question. We'll start with you. If you had the money to start your own business, how perfect? You said you wanted to start a business. What would it be?
I would be in sports management.
All right, sports management business. Good. How about you, Connor?
Like a sports store.
Okay, so like Dick's Sporting Goods
Yeah,
or
kinda
something like
like
that. All right.
I either like sell like exotic cars or a shoe business. Like
All
shoe
right,
stuff.
so we're kind of all over the place. All right. I dig that. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks so much for your time. It's been awesome getting to know you a little bit. We're super excited to go up to McCutcheon on Friday and cheer you guys on and wish you well and hope we do well. So good luck Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, fellas. All right, we'll be right back in just a second with Coach Enright. All right, welcome back. I'm back here with Coach Enright, and we've got a really big game coming up Friday, the opening round of sectional for us. We've had an extra week to prepare for these guys. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the McCutcheon Mavericks?
Before that, you say we've had an extra week to prepare, which is always unique and good.
Yeah.
In 5A and 6A football, everyone gets that bye week.
Yeah.
Some people go about it in different ways, but we really felt like giving the kids, 5 or 6 days off to heal their minds and bodies, just to get back in the swing of things when they came back to school would be good.
Sure.
So we didn't practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, off Sunday as well, obviously, and so feel like at that point, everybody's excited and ready to come back to school rather
Yeah.
than dreading it because you've been together the whole time.
No, I think that's smart.
Really felt that vibe this week in practice so far of guys wanting to be back and excited to be back to school rather than, oh, we're already back.
Right.
So that was good. And going into McCutcheon week, it's a unique game because it's pretty far. It's a travel game for a sectional game. First round, typically you're closer to your area, and this is over an hour and a half drive. So that presents some differences and some challenges to your team that we're going to have to handle. I love that we played at Columbus North earlier in the year because it's a similar drive to that, and we're going to treat it similarly. But we are going to get out of school a little bit early. We're going to get down, and a great friend of Coach Gooden and myself, Brian Ney, coaches at Lafayette Central Catholic, which is 5 minutes from McCutcheon. So we're going to eat our team meal there at LCC's cafeteria and do our walkthrough on their field, and then get over to McCutcheon on time. So should be a fun atmosphere. It's what we've talked about with our kids. It's a new season, and a couple of those games early where we slipped up, and we're trying to find our way. If you do that in the playoffs, you're turning your pads in.
Yeah.
And that's that's always tough, and especially with this group. I mean, selfishly, I don't want it to end because I love these kids, and every year is completely different. You lose 20 seniors, and then through people leaving and transferring and coaches not coming back and new coaches coming in. I think our turnover last year was like we have 50 new players that either left or came. So it's completely different. I just selfishly don't want this to end.
Yeah. And heck, all three of the gentlemen we just talked to, they won't be here next year.
Yeah.
So there's so many important cogs in the wheel, that make this thing go.
Yeah, and it's just it's sad, man. When you're hugging on the field, and only 6 teams out of 320 are happy at the end of the season, but and 314 are usually in tears if it meant something to them. So I'm not looking forward to that time. Hopefully it's happy tears on Thanksgiving weekend, but that's kind of the mantra, man. It's win or go home.
Yeah.
You got to go 1-0 in everything you do, 1-0 mindset. And you can't think about the state championship. You have to think about practice that day,
Yeah.
going 1-0 in practice, and then stacking those days so that when you get to the game, you're prepared and ready for McCutcheon, and not thinking about Lucas Oil Stadium. So I think our kids are locked in and focused and ready to go in that regard. So we'll see. It's going to be tough. They're a good football team.
Yep.
It's their second-year coach. We played them last year at home, and Coach Strasser's first year as the head coach of McCutcheon, and this is his second year, and they're a lot better this year than last year, which tells me he's a really good coach. Kids have bought into his system, and they're playing a lot better. They got a big win over Lafayette Jeff this year, which they haven't beaten in a long time. It's a 6A school. They're battle-tested, playing West Lafayette and Lafayette Harrison and Lafayette Jeff. We're excited I think our kids are excited to play a playoff game, but also I told them it's kind of like a college atmosphere in the sense you're going to leave a little bit early and you're going to eat and do a walkthrough on someone else's field. So we're just excited to get to Friday, but we know we got 2 more days to prepare here and
For sure.
Get ready to roll. So.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Our sectional only comprises 4 teams, so you win this week, then you play for a sectional championship the following week. So it's an interesting dichotomy there. So I'm excited to get up there Friday. So folks, if you are free Friday night and you want to support our Hawks, we will be at McCutcheon High School. That game will kick off at 7. So please come out and support the Hawks. Good luck to you, Coach. I know we got a little special theme this week, huh?
Yeah, it's wear your Halloween costume night at the game.
There you go.
It's almost Halloween, so in honor of that.
We just added a celebrity to our cast here, Michael Myers. So good luck to Coach Enright and Michael Myers, and go Hawks.
Go Hawks.